took syllables and they had to do it in groups. So groups of, in their focus bin groups, so 6 to 7 kids. And they had their whole bucket, then they had to put it in, whether it was one, organize them into the category they fell in, whether it was 1, 2, 3, or 4 syllables. Now, breaking down, like I said last week to you, breaking down the sounds and words will help them when they need to sound out words and when they need to write. But it's also another reason for doing a focus bin like this is that you're leaving 6 students in a group on their own to be independent and to be able to share and to be able to take turns and to allow another student for that moment in time to be the teacher. So my expectation of the focus bin was that each child got a turn and it just went around the circle over and over. And whoever's turn it was, they had to pick a card from the bin. They had to say the card to the other children, so dinosaur, and then together as a class, or as a group, sorry, they had to clap it. Then that child got to go up and put it where it belongs, so dinosaur would be 3. And then they'd come back to the circle and the next child had to go. So I was kind of watching to see which children share, which children are able to take their turns, which ones are able to be kind and patient. It's very telling, an activity like this, of the behavior side. So we're going to keep doing that all year long. And then, parents, what else did we do this week? We had lots of art projects. Oh, we looked at the letter J for one. So J, it says the sound ja. We did our have fun teaching video that you could see for the letter J. We brainstormed a lot of words. We looked at words that began with that letter. And then we obviously talked about proper formation. So for our uppercase letter J, we always go down the slide and we give it a hat. And for lowercase j, we go down the slide and we give it a dot. And like the I, we don't give it a lollipop, it's just a small dot. And then we also talked about what it should look like when we're writing it on a dotted line. So the J is a letter that falls, so it needs to drop below, and the dot goes above the line. Again, the kids did their printing books, and they did a really, really beautiful job of it. So this was their J's. And then, as well, parents, art projects that we did this week. We did get through more with my mornings because they had that extra day, which is unfortunate, but I don't want to take away from the morning when they do have that time. So what the morning kids did with me this week was they, using paint, actually they got to use tempera paint for the first time in an art. They've used it before, but not to create a scene. So they did a really excellent job. So what they did was they had to paint their snow and their trees, and then they were given oil pastels to create the northern lights. Then we added snowflakes and some sprinkles. So you can imagine what the classroom looked like after this project, but they had a lot of fun doing it, and it really turned out beautiful. That's them on the wall there. Sorry, this one's been pulled off, so that's why the missing space. And then another art project we got to today was our elves. So the kids created, again, it was a step-by-step guided drawing to work on that horizontal translation, to work on being able to copy, follow instruction, follow direction, be patient and wait for the rest of the kids. Then they had to Sharpie it, color it, and then some of them got around to painting it. So this would be one pre-painting and this is post-painting. And then you get to see the individuality of the students as always. My favorite part about kindergarten art. And then, what else do I have to tell you, parents? We also today looked at really practicing on the line. This has a student's name on it, but she did a wonderful job, so I'll show you. Looking at our name and how we write them when we're given a dotted line. And they're doing a great job on letters that are tall, letters that are small, and letters that fall. And then they can also tell you how many letters are in their name and draw that numeral. And then, sorry, lastly, we also did a patterns activity this week. So at each of my tables, the kids had different manipulatives to use. So they had the jewels, they had and gems, cubics, and pattern blocks. And then I had farm animals as well. So each table was given a box of manipulatives to use. And the kids, it was 3 to 4 minutes at each table. And what they had to do is they had to go, they had to sit down, they had to create a pattern. Usually they got to about 2 patterns, some 1, some 2. Then I'd come around, we'd look at them, they'd check out their friends' patterns. We stopped and we did a little bit of not a gallery walk because they stayed at their tables this time, but we viewed some of the patterns that were well done or that were different, and even some that might not have been, that might have had an error in them, and then we corrected them as a class. So what the students had to do was they created their patterns, we checked them, and then they cleaned them up, and we moved to the next table. So it was kind of like a speed pattern game, and they got to use different manipulators at each table. So that was kind of fun. And it gives me a quick assessment again onto where my students are at with their patterning. And then lastly, parents, I just want to make sure I got through everything, is next week, a big reminder. Next week, it was sent out via the school through your emails. Next week is our student-led conferences, demonstration of learning. Now the first conference is very much student-led, as it explains in this form. Your child will bring you into the classroom and they will show you their learning and what they've been doing. We have lots for you to see, so I'm really excited for the kids to be able to do that with you. This form needs to come back to me so I know what time we're gonna meet. So right now I'm leaving these slots. I know I have more kids in this, but I'm leaving these slots at this amount right now because I haven't had too many brought back to me. If there's any that double up, I'll reach out to you parents and we'll make it work for your schedules and mine. And then really it's a time for you to come in and enjoy your child's work and come and visit our classroom because lots of you haven't seen it yet. So please give me, please take the time to fill these out and give these to me so I can make arrangements for everyone and make it work for everyone so you guys can have time with me. And then just so you know, at the student-led conferences, you will be receiving you will be receiving the early years evaluation result page of your child. So that will tell you where they're sitting at with their cognitive, gross motor, fine motor, social awareness, and behavior skills. So this is something that is very confidential, so I'd rather it be picked up in person. Of course, if you can't make it, I'll send it home in their backpacks, no problem. Oh, and lastly, we also did a graphing activity this week. So we talked about with the students, what's your favorite winter activity? So we looked at sledding, drinking hot cocoa, snowman building, and hockey. And what the students got to do is they were given a snowflake. They had to write their name on the snowflake, color their snowflake, and then come and put it up on the activity they'd most like to do in the winter. And then what we did is we counted to see how many students fell in each category, and then the kids got to come up and write the number. So for this group, I believe this was maybe my morning. Some kids were missing, but drinking hot cocoa was a favorite activity, so of course, you know I'm going to bring it in for the children. And then the afternoons is over there. But anyways, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend and you enjoy the nice weather, and I will hope to see most of you next week at our conferences. Our Christmas concert will be December 13th, Friday, at 6:30. Thanks, you guys.